Hello, everybody. My name is Steve Akley, and we're going to be talking today about the Bourbon Sasquatch nickname that I have. How did that come about? It's the special first part of a two-parter. Remember the old days in TV when two-parters were a big deal because there was no way to get around things. You had to watch things when they came on. You know, you had to. They're not live, but you had to watch them live, basically. So if it came on Thursdays at 7, guess where you had to be to catch that TV show? If not, then you had to kind of plan your schedule around summer schedule when they would show it again. They would go into repeats. And if you didn't catch it then, that's it. You're done. You missed it. So TV is so different today. No, I don't really know anybody who sits there and watches live shows, really. Like, you know, I sports and stuff like that. I get that. But I'm talking about like if you like, like Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay. Is anybody sitting down and watching that on the day it comes out? I don't think so. I think most people are watching it, on Hulu or Netflix or whatever the show that it is, wherever it's at streaming. I think they're watching it there. And I guess, do people still DVR? I mean, my mom does, but that doesn't really count. She's on the wrong side of 80. That doesn't mean that the masses do it if someone who's 80 does it. Oh, I got to take a phone call here. It's the warden. All right, so that's the warden interrupting me during work for just an update that I didn't need. If you're married and you've been married a long time like I have, you get that. You understand what I'm saying here. So yeah, we have to. I don't know. We're switching over something with the POS system. I can't do anything when it comes to electronics. Like I don't place any of our orders. Darren does all that. We're getting switching over an account name to the shop here for our POS so we can get paid on a daily basis, which is nice. And it's an unbelievable undertaking. I get too frustrated with that stuff. I also can't deal with banks. That's another thing I can't deal with. I don't like banks. I don't, man, here we go. I need to just, this will end up being a whole thing on something we didn't agree to talk about here. So yeah, I barely can function in those sort of things. I don't have the patience for dealing with stuff like that. So like the POS system, everything's working great. They're telling me we got to make some switch. And I'm like, I don't want to make a switch. Everything's working. And you know what? If I'm going to make a switch, why don't I just switch vendors? And like, no, this will be easy. You just got to fix this. And then, it takes a million steps and I don't know what to do. And the warden is doing it for me and she gets frustrated because she doesn't know what to do because she's my age. I have a wife that's the same age as me. So that doesn't help me with, getting things that younger people are better at. So, we're both dealing with these things in different ways. Me just, being angry in the background and her trying to actually fix the thing. So I don't know, it's just, anyway, that's stuff you don't even think about. When you're thinking about starting a business, like, am I going to have a day that's, or a week or a month or however long we've been working on this little project, that's going to be that frustrating because all I want to do is take a credit card and then have them put that money in my bank account at the end of the day. That seems so simple, right? In theory, incredibly simple. But I don't know. So it's part 2 of a two-parter. We were talking a little bit about, DVR and stuff like that. And does anybody do that anymore? I don't know. Besides old people. I know old people do. But old people, watch DVDs and no one else really does unless you're in a remote part of the world. Like my brother-in-law, he has a store. It's like a general store in Alaska, and people there watch DVDs. I mean, they don't have streaming and stuff like that. So it's weird things. Technology that you've left behind is still out there, and people are utilizing it. That's the bottom line. So that is a long lead-in to say that we're going to be talking about the origin story of the Bourbon Sasquatch. So how that comes about is Jason Bronner, my buddy, Jason Bronner. Literally, we were doing an all-star pick. And so we had a great day. So this is with, all right, I was so frustrated by what was that talk about the warden and get me going with what's going on with the POS system that I got flustered during my attempt to bring the show back to reality. We're doing a two-parter today, and it is on Bourbon Sasquatch, the origin story, how did I get that nickname, and then the second part will be how did it evolve to impact the store here? What has been the impact of that nickname on the store? And we'll get into some fun parts of that. Should be pretty cool. Just to sum up our the technology thing, old people love older technology like DVR and stuff like that. I don't know if young people do. Maybe if you're young and you're doing that, you're like, yeah, I still do that. But I think that's even to the old people. I think young people just watch streaming, and that's really about it. That's my take on it. So there you go. All right. So Bourbon Sasquatch origin story. This is going to be the world's worst episode of anything I've ever done, though the Bourbon Sasquatch story is pretty good. So, and I'm getting nonstop text. So I've got this Map Tap group. Do you guys play Map Tap? Again, here I'm getting. So we play Map Tap, and then we started a text string with the people that play that are like in the ABV Network crew. And so it ends up being just a place to share your scores, but then everyone talks trash. And then people are plugging, different things like Becca Neely's plugging Vote For Us today for, we're in this contest and stuff. And it becomes everything. I think when I get done with this, I'm going to put my grocery list out there just to tick people off. Because, man, these texts are coming in, and I'm trying to record this on my phone, of course. And these texts are just coming in. You see the little banner. You guys don't see it, but I see the little banner as it comes in, and it's nonstop. I don't know what they're talking about right now. I have no FOMO, though. I'm not like, oh, man, this is exciting. I get to the Map Tap group and see what they're talking about. I don't care. And, Becca, like me, she says, I'm the worst person to have in a text group because I get too chatty on these things. I don't think I do. I think it's the other people. And if I do say something, it's of value. Or it's incredibly funny. That's the two things, the angles I come in. So anyway, Bourbon Sasquatch. So Jason Bronner, owner of, at that time, just Bourbon's Bistro. This is before Buzzard's Roost. A lot of you know him even more through that now than Bourbon's Bistro. So this was his restaurant. And he set up something he called the All-Star Pick. So I don't remember 100% who was on there. I think, besides Jason and I, he had Peggy No Stevens for sure. He had Mike Veach. And his fiancee, Rosemary. And then I think Linda from the Whisky Chicks was there too. So I think that was the group. There might have been one other one. I don't remember. So his idea was to have this group of known entities doing a barrel pick for him at Bourbon's Bistro. And then he would call it the All-Star Pick. And he really treats you great because you go there and you get breakfast at his place. He cooks it. Jason's an incredible cook. You don't get to really see that at Bourbon's Bistro because he's the owner of the company and he has a chef and the chef has a team, and Jason's not part of that. He's not back there cooking meals, though he could jump in really at any time. So he's really a great chef. He doesn't get credit for that. He gets credit for being a business mogul, but he is a great cook. So don't forget that when you think about Jason Bronner. So he cooks us this breakfast, and then we go make the pick. It's at Old Forester. One of the funny moments, and I've talked about this before, was big companies in particular, they have a process. So you're doing a barrel pick, you got to take a tour. Well, Mike Veach is on the tour. The guy who knows more about bourbon history than anybody. And the tour guide's shaking because here's Mike Veach on there. And Mike Veach also, by the way, is not a guy who will just leave something alone. Like if I'm there and the guy says, Bottle and Bond, the Bottle and Bond Act was, I think, 1898. And, it's like 1897. Like Mike Veach can't let that alone. Like, I can just be like, just let the guy go. Everyone here knows it. Oh, what am I going to do other than embarrass the guy? I'll just let him go off the hook and whatever. Or if I feel the need to tell him, I would just take him offline and be like, hey, by the way, on the tour you said 1898. It's actually 1897, but not Mike Veach. He's gonna tell you what it is right in front of everybody. And I mean, this guy he's in a terrible spot because it wasn't as simple stuff as that as he was talking about. He's getting the history of Old Forester. And Mike Veach knows the history of Old Forester better than the tour guide for sure, and certainly better than anybody else that was in our group. So this guy, he had a bad day. And I've been on a couple tours with Mike where folks have had a bad day. Tour guides, just be warned. If Mike Veach is on your tour, get ready. I would gloss over most things unless you're 100% for sure the answer to it, unless you want to be called out. So that was a fun part of it. And then when we get done, Jason's like, we ought to go to lunch and just kind of hang out. We're having a good time. We're we're on Whiskey Row, of course. So we go to Sidebar, which is right around the corner from Old Forester. And Jason and I didn't realize this, had been involved when that place got going, like a consultant or something, because he had Bourbon's Bistro running successfully, and he helped them get Sidebar going. So he knew the people there. That's where he wanted to go. I would have probably gone to Merle's. That's my favorite place around there, but I didn't get a vote. I was with some industry titans, and it was just oddly me there. So I don't know how I got on the All-Star pick, but I did because I'm friends with Jason. And I just went along with it. And at some point during the conversation, this mention to about my giant size comes up. Because I don't know, people watch this stuff and they assume I'm like 5'7" and something like that. I'm like almost, I don't know, maybe 6'3.5", something like that. You put shoes on me, well over 6'4", 6'5", in that range. You put the boots. So a big mountain of a man, and then I got the big bushy beard. And Bronner at some point he makes a joke. He's like, "Akley, you look like a big old Bourbon Sasquatch." And everybody laughs. I mean, they're all laughing at it, and I laughed at it too. I loved it. I legitimately I thought it was hilarious because I do like Bigfoot. I like anybody. I like watching Bigfoot stuff. I don't even understand why. It's not like I believe in Bigfoot or anything. I just like it, and I like people who believe in it, or at least are telling us that they believe in it so they can make some bucks off it. I don't know. I just like Bigfoot stuff. And so I love the nickname. And at that time, I was thinking, we're starting this movie production company at this time, Bo Cumberland and I was like, that's a good name for the movie production company. I didn't tell Bo or anything like that. So I just let it alone. And I thought, I'll just leave this. I don't think he'll even understand it. I don't know if he wants to do that. So we're making a movie at that time, our first one, Kindred Spirits. And when we get to the time for the production company name, as we're doing this, he's like, "What should we call it? Just like ABV Network Production Company?" And I was like, "No, let's call it Bourbon Sasquatch." And I just threw it out there. I didn't know what he loved it. So I call it Bourbon Sasquatch Productions. And Bo loves the idea, so that's what it becomes. And it's really fully like integrated into the company now. But at that time, it was just that's the fledgling, the start of it. And so then, of course, as we're releasing that movie, the name comes forward. Then Bourbon Sasquatch Productions, and of course, what happens? I get a phone call. It's Jason Bronner. "Hey, you owe me a check." Bourbon Sasquatch was my name I gave you. So then he wants credit for it. Now, after it happened, after he called me Bourbon Sasquatch, he called me the next day to apologize for calling me that. And I was like, "No, it's fine. I loved it. It was hilarious. And all that. I like it. So you don't have to apologize." And then now he's calling me again because he wants a check because he came up with the thing. And I was like, "No, I'm not giving a check." But thank you for coming up with such a cool nickname. And it has had a big impact on, myself. It's had a big impact because people remember me because of that. And it's also had a big impact on our customers. It's something that they rally around. And I'm going to talk about exactly what that means when you have a place where they can come in and enjoy themselves, like the ABV Barrel Shop. So episode 2, we're going to get into, what it's like here when you're nicknamed the Bourbon Sasquatch. Should be fun. I've covered everything that I wanted to get into as far as side conversations on this one. That should be a very short video. See ya.